get them up again. But Google Meet allows. Okay, please start.
Sir, the questions one, no?
Yeah, that was
Okay, sir.
tourism, right? Yours was
Did
based
you
on tourism.
take the
Okay,
interview
please.
with someone like related to tourism?
Yeah, I didn't get anyone to do ask questions, so I did it.
Okay, just show your process, everything. We will give some feedbacks. Okay, rather than like saying so much, if you just show it to us,
Okay, sir, one.
I will understand immediately. If you need to stop, then I will tell you to stop. Maybe we're thinking that is not going to be productive, but I will tell you to summarize. Okay, if I see it's not so much productive explaining that, but I know it's very productive, I will give you feedback. Okay, accordingly. Just it's waiting for now.
Sir, I don't know why it's not being.
Okay, so this will help you to like groom your presentation skills also. Okay? Like rather than the teacher speaking full time, it will give you a good practice to present your information as well. But just try to summarize them or try not to take too much time. Okay, if you finish it quickly, then teacher can back up afterwards immediately.
Sir, till that someone else can do.
Okay, so this is how like another person will also not be ready. Another person who is anyone ready, and by that time I will be already finishing the course. Okay, now all of you, we have already explained of page 11. We did of engineering, we did of agriculture. Did we explain of agriculture? Yes. Forest also. Forest, did I explain? Page number 17. Because it's going to here and there and then it creates confusion at times. Forest, did we
You
explain?
didn't explain, but I have made the presentation of forest.
Okay, from my side, I will explain now. Okay. Last time I explained JTA and JT to one of the section, but is it this section?
Yes, sir. It was our section only.
Okay, because like I
Yes,
at
sir.
times. Okay, now let's go to page number 17 because I want to give concept from my side. What is more important? Okay, not just living with your presentation only, just adding those things which were not covered by the students, or that is important for our level. Okay, and I will just try to summarize at least. Okay, page number 17. If we go on the, it takes so much time. So let me just give you a quick concept. Okay, page number 17. All of you go to that page. So these are the few occupations relating to forest. One is ranger, one is forester. So that was already presented by Arden. So from the presentation itself, I think that day also we explained. So right now when I'm explaining, I'm just going serially. Okay. So one of them is ranger, another is forester. So you can see on page numbers, all of it, please turn on your camera. Puravi, Leon, Christine, Assis, Agrima, Niharika, Ojasvi. I cannot see your camera. Okay, so one is ranger and another is forest. These are the occupations relating to forest. If you're working for forest, means these are the types of occupation. And when you go to grade 8, there will be just more or less, there's not forest exactly, but there's just agriculture and forest both linked up together. So in case of ranger, like the presentation was done very well. From that also you have understood. Only the thing is, I just want to say, like the educational qualification required for ranger is SLC. Duration you can see, and it's basically based on forest management. There are people studying forestry also, like Hetauda has forestry. Okay, that had a good scope in the past. Now also it has some scope, or maybe not as in the past, because sometimes the scope changes. Means like there is no need of too many people in that sector. Means if there are too many people studying in any sector, then the people who study averagely will not be like
Other sector will have less people.
yeah, like I can see few of them who have studied forestry saying they got good grades, almost topper, and they're still not working for forest till now. Okay, they finished maybe the education around 25 and till 32 33 they're still not in that field. Means there are more people, or there's no such demand in the market anymore. uh, because like either the government is not keeping them because they have already hired in the past, and those people who have been hired by the government will be working for at least till 58 to 60 years. Means their age, okay, not the total number of working years.
Yeah, it would be somewhere if it would be 50-60 years of work.
Yeah. So this is it stuff like for us to know what is our interest, what is the demand. Sometimes our interest might not be demand in the market. Sometimes the demand in the market might be taught for us to study, isn't it? Okay, now next one is forester. So in case of forester, also that is after SLC. I'm not saying all of them are after SLC. Okay, there is BSc forestry, there is masters in forestry, but the level we are looking here right now is based on that. And we don't want to go too much extra than this also. So immediately after SLC, for 1 year, they are going to study about forest management. So that is about forestry. So these are the two occupations which Adyan really had a very good interview. It really gave us a good concept. If you remember, and if I have kept the recording, you can see it again and it will help you to again understand. I hope I have kept that recording. Sometimes I don't keep because sometimes things are here and there. I cannot record on time because sometimes I have technical issues. I cannot start my computer. I have to work from sometimes mobile itself when there's an electric problem. Okay, and then I cannot record them. Okay, now financial sector. All of you go to page number 18. Did I explain about financial sector from my side?
No,
No,
sir.
sir.
No, another section I remember explain, but more or less what happens is that 6, 7, 8 are almost looking similar, and sometimes it gets confusing for me. The topics are almost similar. Like in grade 8 also, the topics are almost similar, but the content is different. Okay, while telling their prior knowledge, then sometimes I repeat it. Okay, so great. So in case of page 18, financial sector, did we do any interview with the school finance anything?
Yeah, Leon and Agrina had presented it.
Yes. So they went to talk with the accountant of the school, I think. Accountant and assistant accountant. So in case of accountant, you can see accountant is going to keep all the transactions that is happening in the school will be recorded by the accountant. Like transactions, of course, for them it is going to be told by the management, chairman, principal. They are the ones deciding, and then and the accountant is the one recording them. Is that clear? Because where the fund goes, where what is comes is of course decided by the management, not the accountant directly. Accountant is just to keep a recording of that. Recording, keeping the money, recording. Like if the salary, like if the fees are paid by the student, then they take in. Sometimes nowadays you can see it's coming from the bank. They are paying. You're paying to the bank. Although you're paying to the bank, the accountant will be keeping the transaction record because it will be shown in the school account who has been paying, how, and they'll be recording that transaction. Okay, it depends on how they are working. So like, and similarly later on they'll have to pay it to the staff. Sometimes they pay it directly, sometimes they pay it through the bank. So means anyway they are going to keep a record of that transaction, whatever like is income, what is the expense exactly. Okay, more or less the summary is they'll be recording all the transactions of all the income that is coming to the school. Most of the income is of course coming from the student in case of school, isn't it? Only
Yes.
maybe sometimes there might be profit if the school is organizing events, and in events they are getting sponsors, but directly all the schools cannot be gaining from those events. Sometimes it's a break even. Some events are not for profit, it's just to make sure the legacy, or sometimes maybe educational things are happening. Okay, like school is not an event management company directly also. Okay, now if not, that's how it will be coming, and the expenses are always going through like more or less administrative expense, schools like maintenance, school building maintenance, or salary of the teachers, salary of the staff. All these are expenses, so all these transactions will be kept by the accountant. Does it make it very simple to understand?
Yeah.
Okay, just
Yes,
income,
sir.
expense, whatever comes in, like all these things, like they will be doing a journal entry, like whatever debit, credit, like they like whatever comes in, whatever goes out, all this transaction will be done by the accountant. That's what you'll be studying in accounts. And later on, based on income and expense, you can exactly calculate the profit or loss. If there is more income than expense, is it a loss or profit? Of course, it
So
is.
what?
If
Profit.
income is more than expense, is it loss or profit?
Profit.
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 Means to make a profit in either any business, Not only school, we are just relating with the school for now because we are right now studying in school. Same thing applies for any business that you do, isn't it? So if you make more income than expense, then that is of course going to be a profit. But if the income is less than the expense, then that is going to be a loss. So that all the things like expense will be decided by the financial sector rather than the accountant. Okay, financial managers or financial, maybe the management, all this budget management. Accountant is just going to keep a recording of all that thing. Is that clear? Like how much to invest in which sector to give more funding, okay, or which staffs to give more. All these things will be decided by the management, and accountant just keeps a record of that. So there, like there are different softwares to do those accounting, and you have subjects like account in grade 9 and 10, itself in grade 8 in a few schools. Okay, so grade 9 and 10, 11 and 12, where if you study management, account will be also one of the main subject, because when you are managing, you need to know the data, how the company is going on. If you're a manager managing any organization, then you have to know all this data, because you have to work out on this budget. Okay, now educational qualification on page number 19, you can see after plus 2, if you study for 4 years, that is normally bachelor's. That's what it's trying to say. After plus 2, if you study for 4 years, nowadays it is known as bachelor's, because bachelor's level is of 4 years. Earlier, when I studied during my time, I studied 2 degrees, bachelor's in environmental science and bachelor's in sociology and rural development. They were all 3 years. Okay. And after that, even arts was 3 years for a little afterwards, and they changed it to, I think right now 3 or 4 years ago they made it 4 years. So more or less, after plus 2 level, all the bachelor's level are 4 years in case of Nepal, because one of the reason is foreign countries, if you're trying to go abroad to study, they are looking for 4 years. 2 years are having problem. Okay, that was, and government of Nepal has to go according to the foreign countries what they are doing, because most of the people might want to go study abroad, or maybe go and in the name of study also they might be working plus pocket money plus study everything. Okay, so that's why this our country also has already 4 years in most of the courses, and by now I think all of the degrees are already 4 years now in bachelor's. Is that clear? And now next one is assistant accountant. Assistant accountant is of course just the assistant of the main accountant. So for that assistant accountant, if you have plus two is enough. After SLC 2 years, that is plus 2, that is enough to become the assistant. So that's how it is decided. Okay, now tourism. Tourism, is there anyone going to present that, or do you want me to continue? If you have any question, please ask regarding accountant and assistant accountant, and please turn on your cameras as well. Like if you don't present, I told you I will just continue with the topic for that time. We will not stop there, I told. Okay, whichever group, if they are very slow, we cannot wait for them. If we keep on waiting, then the course burden will come later on. Okay, because anyway we have to all work together to finish this whole book on time. So we it's all okay, you and me together trying to finish them on time. Okay, now anyone who is going to present for the next topic? Of course, you know that's why I will not stop for the people even if you don't present. Tourism. If you are not going to present, I will continue with the occupation. Okay. Now all of you go to page number 20. Page number 20. I'm really sorry for the background construction sound coming too much. I am also getting distracted at times. Okay, let me just close my window. You just see that page number 20. Page number 20, cook and guide. Can you see the difference between cook and guide and the qualification level for 1 minute? So in case of tourism sector, we have a few occupations here. You can see there are so many: travel and tourism, porter, transport operators guide, hotelier, different people, hotel manager, different people are involved in tourism sector. But however, that's what I told, let's try to focus on what is in the book mainly, because like you, some of the things you'll study that again in grade 8, because it is more or less the same thing again. You might have already observed in 6 and 7, same topics are there. Did you notice that almost similar topics are there? Means like if you say
Yes,
something,
sir.
if you say something out of the box, it might be a course of grade 8. So why not at least minimum study what is in the book, but in a different way or creative approach, how much we can. Okay, that's what I told, research and all these things, because all the topics are almost similar. Okay, like if you again have to do mini lecture, then again it takes time. So that's why I gave assignment as research. Okay, now in case of cook are also the people working in tourism sector. How? Can you say, Leon?
Sir,
Okay, yes.
sir, because if a tourist comes in a hotel or in a hotel or resort, they need to have food. So the cook is the one who cooks the food.
Yeah. So tourist, all those tourists who come, like maybe international tourist or domestic tourist, those are the people. Because some might be international tourists, some might be domestic tourist also. Either tourist is a tourist, isn't it? So those cook are itself, like they, for them it's more or less like a tourism sector, especially those hotels where they are okay, especially those hotels like 5 star to 7 star, whatever, you know, they, of course that's direct link to tourist. Even 1 star you can say, and remaining are different. So this cook, like in your in the school also, you have a cook who is cooking. Same way, the cook is just going to cook food based on variety. Like if it's a 5 star, then you can see the varieties of cooking from continental Chinese to different. That's what they cook. Japanese to different things have been cooked in case of 5 star, 4 star, even till 3 star, or even if you just go to, yes, all these things are of course been cooked. If you go to Tamil area also, like if the restaurants are there, they're also itself also cooking, isn't it? Because that place you can see tourists are itself going around in that area. So to become a cook, you have to have minimum SLC passed, and after that you have 3 years of training, and then you get the diploma in hotel management, and that's how you become a cook. So so SLC level is enough for that. So now next one is a guide. In case of guide, okay, do you know what is a guide? Who is a guide?
A guide is like a person who guides the tourists and shows them uh, heritage and all.
Okay, yes. So you can see like whatever you studied in social studies, whatever you studied in environmental science, these things might help more to guide as well. Okay, science mainly environment things. Okay, not, I'm not trying to say science all that, chemistry, biology, not biology, but not chemistry, physics. Okay, these things might not be for the guide, but the biology part might be helpful, because you might have to go sites showing those national parks, isn't it? So guide needs to have all this knowledge. It's not easy to be guide. You need to know, if you're going for the nature tourism, those things, then you have to know about the environment, you have to know about the nature, you have to know about, if it's bird, then bird, if it's animals, when you are taking them around. If it's like you're showing them the cultural tourism of Kathmandu, then you have to know about the culture from social studies aspect, and then take them around maybe Pasupati, both the different natural heritage site. That's where you need the knowledge. So you can see what is a guide doing. So based on various type of tourism, they'll be working in case of Nepal. So mainly the thing for tourism is it should be attractive. If it is attractive, then tourists will come to see them. Nature tourism to sports tourism, health tourism, to different types of tourism will be there. Like they can visit for different purpose. Medical tourism, maybe for just medical purpose, or different, okay, things. So those guides must have a knowledge of the language as well. Like if you're taking American tourists, you need to know English. If if you're taking Chinese tourists, because that's a good scope in recent years in the market, then you need to know Chinese. It's not that only, and some of the guides, not guides, some of the travel agencies were telling Chinese might be a good scope because they were having more Chinese tourists. Means you have to study according to the language which the tourists come more in the country. Okay, so that's about a guide. So do you have any confusion in the guide now?
No, sir.
So you already know what subjects you need to really study in detail if anyone wants to be a uh, guide in the future or anything. Okay, that's how it's going on. And you can see the educational qualification. They need to have language requirements based on the tourist, and they should have minimum SLC passed. This is a minimum requirement of not just for all the guides. There are different levels. There are other levels, senior level guide to different. Okay, for some of the level it's bachelor minimum bachelors. Then only they will be allowed to take the training and then do it. So there are different levels of this also. So this is more or less like entry to level. Is that clear? Because you know that
Yes.
all the things can be explained by SLC pass, the whole culture to all everything of all the aspect. Itself in the school you are getting teachers of bachelor's degree and master's degree, means what will an SLC level people having that knowledge guide? They will only show the way rather than the subject knowledge of that culture or that wildlife or anything. So that is about a guide. Now next topic. Any question in cook and guide now?
No.
Okay, now educational. Who presented in educational?
Me and
Okay.
Alanya.
Okay, all of you please go to page number 22. For educational qualification, we have this occupation called as teacher, who is a teacher. You already understand. I just need to do a final wrap up of this. Okay, I'm just wrapping up all the topics. So I think this was explained very well in detail also. More or less, all the things were explained. So teacher, you can see assistant worker or facilitator, assistant workers of primary development center, assistant workers of informal section, education. All these are the different people working in education sector. And regarding qualification, you can see directly on page 23. Page 23, can you see that table? So if you need to be a teacher of grade 6 to 8, what is the qualification that we need?
+2.
+2. Yes, +2 is enough. And in few days, like I could see there is a page itself in Facebook called as Sitcha. Okay, I've been following that page as well, and they had written in Finland to become a teacher, all of them should require master's degree. That is the requirement in Finland, and they consider Finland to be one of the like best in terms of education sector. Okay, to become a teacher, they have to have master's degree, and then after master's degree, they are like given 1 year of training. Then only they are sent. Then only they will be allowed to teach. But however, in case of our Nepal, even if the qualification is written there, in some places the people are below that level. In some places, it is they are on the required level. Okay, so in case of, so you already understood there are different qualification required to become a teacher of different levels. Okay, what is the qualification required to become a teacher of secondary level then?
SLC.
SLC pass.
Okay, I will pick up randomly, okay, not the same people. Susan, can you tell me what is the qualification required to become a teacher of secondary level? Let's just see that table so that it will help you to understand. Susan? No, I'm picking up randomly because sometimes I don't know, the camera is off. Please turn on your camera, Susan, Ian, Ojaswi, Christian. Please turn it on like that. The mainly I sometimes call them when I don't see the camera also, because I won't even know if they're listening or not. Susan, can you give out a trial on page number 23? It's there exactly on the table. Secondary teacher, what is the okay, bachelor's. You have to be looking at the book, okay? It's not just listening. If you just keep on listening, then you will not understand. Okay, next one. What is the qualification required to become a higher secondary teacher? This question goes to Puravi.
So in higher secondary
Secondary teacher.
level, it has we have the qualifications needed are masters in related subject.
Okay, so whatever subject you're going to teach, it has to be relating to that subject. It's not that you do master in one subject and teach the other subject of that level. For primary level, it's fine. Maybe they can understand because sometimes it is only asking for SLC, isn't it? But it might not be good quality because teacher might not be able to answer them. Either answer them or either facilitate in the right direction. Okay. Okay. So these are the different subjects and then different training based on teacher which we had discussed last time also. So this was a wrap up. For this one was a wrap up. Now let's go to the last topic and then let's wrap it up. Finish it with this lesson because it's already taking time also. But if you have question, we can always repeat that again and again. Okay. And if you okay now public service, who did that presentation? Public service, who did that presentation? Okay, in case of public service, we have only one job over here, only one occupation in our book, that is office assistant. It is not that in public service there is only office assistant. There are people like district education officer looking after the whole district's education itself in public service. You have CDO looking after the whole district. That's a big post, right? They are itself in public service. All these people who are working in government job relating to public service, that is like exam is taken by a public service commission. Okay, that is public service. Like even the hospital nurse and doctors, anything, if they are working under like government hospital, they are itself also part of public service. All these exams are taken by the public service commission. In Nepali we say that as Lok Seva Ayog, and that main office is in like Anamnagar, and there are different branches within the country. In case of province 3 or outside of this region, Baneshwar, in other places in Hetauda or different places it is there, but the central, the main office is in Anamnagar. Okay, if you've been around that area, then you can just see that also. But the
I've
thing,
been around Anamnagar. I've
okay,
seen that.
you have seen that office also. Okay, yes. So that's I'm trying to say that is a government body. So they take exams and then they recruit it to the government job, and then government is the one who's going to give them salary, and they are the one working for the public service based on what the government decides. So don't get just confused. Like if you just see some doctors or nurse list, of course that is also service to some extent, but here public service is, we are trying to say from the perspective of more or less the government job. So in case of SLC passed, that post is known as Khardar. After you pass your SLC, then you can apply for Khardar in government job. Then after you finish your plus 2, then you can apply for NASU, Naib Sudbar, in public service. And after you finish bachelor's, then you can apply for officer level, Adhikrit. And same way, if you finish your master's and you have relevant experience of certain years, okay, they are allowing to enter directly as a secretary, saw Sachiv. And if you saw Sachiv, all this, and there's a main Sachiv who's just below the minister level. So that's about public service. Okay, is that clear?
Yes,
We don't need to know of right now. We just need to know of office assistant, and that is also enough. So you can see the qualification below on page 24, Kharidar and Naib Subba. Is there any question in that?
No, sir.
Okay. So like same in police also, like if you finish your plus 2 SLC, you can apply for level like a constable. If you finish plus 2, you can apply for OSI. If you finish bachelor's, you can apply for inspector directly. In case of army, if you finish SLC, maybe below the level of second lieutenant. If you finish +2, then second lieutenant. So these are the various criteria where you need to have minimum qualification. Is that clear? If you are planning for government sector, so that you know on time.
Bye, sir. It's time. Bye.
Okay, any question? Okay, if not, let's wrap it up. It's 2 minutes extra already also. Thank you so much.
Bye, sir. Thank you, sir. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Have a
Take
good
care.
Bye, sir.
Yeah, bye.